Yeah, man, I got a question, and I'm laughing, but very serious. Are we still caring about credit scores? Are we still caring about credit scores? I'm trying to ascertain. What you need a credit score for anyway? To buy a house? Buy a car? I bought a house a couple years ago. I ain't finna buy down nothing. They gonna find my remains in this house. You see what I'm saying? And if this car give out, I'm gonna push my feet through the floorboard, Fred Flintstone this hoe. So I'm just trying to figure out these student loans, however, it's above me now. Hey, it's above me now. Cause I'm also tired of being the only one paying taxes around this hoe. Billionaires ain't paying nothing. They taxing the hell out my little check. Listen, I gotta get it back in blood somehow, some way. Somehow, some way. This gotta even out. So if I gotta pay taxes, these little debts, I'm liable to run up a tab and leave this. You know what I'm saying?
We in trouble, man. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Robert here. Take a few seconds, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. It really helps the channel. I thank you in advance. Here's the deal. I get it. It's hard. It's expensive. I'm playing in the game too. But credibility, most people don't have any. And it's unfortunate because you're going to find out at the time when you most need someone to believe what you're saying. You're going to need someone to help you out at some point in time, and then it ain't going to be so funny. Let me know down in the comment section. What do you think? Is this really what we've come to? Or are these folks just putting on, trying to make a little extra money? At this point, I really don't know because they seem serious to me.
I'm one of the people whose student loans affected their credit score, and my credit score dropped 100 plus points because they were delinquent, and so poor communication on their part. But I checked in, I called Mahela, I made sure that my payments, I paid what was owed, and I paid what was also coming due. So like, $1,200 plus out of my pocket, which is a lot for me. It's a lot, okay? But tell me why 2 weeks later, I have another email from Mahela saying that my loans are delinquent and my account is delinquent. I'm like, I just literally paid up to date. Like, what do you want from me? This is really freaking confusing. What am I doing wrong?
You're not paying your bills. That's what you're doing wrong. You got to watch folks like this. I mean, she looks real innocent, got the glasses on, talking real low, but you got to listen to what she said. She said poor communication on their part. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If you owe money, it's incumbent upon you to make sure the communication is good. It's incumbent upon you to make sure you understand the terms of the agreement that you have. Y'all are tripping if that's your mindset. Communication is on you. I think I said that 5 times. Number 2, she wants you to feel some kind of way because she made a $1,200 payment. Excuse me, ma'am, respectfully, you signed up for it. And it doesn't sound like you know what you owe. See, in the mortgage industry, after 2008, that was one of those acronyms or colloquialisms. Know before you owe. So here's the deal. For those of you that are out there, high schoolers, young adults thinking that you want to go to school, know before you owe. Read the small print. The devil is in the details. If we're just honest, you didn't think you were going to have to pay them back. So get unconfused. Get your communication right. Because if not, you're going to continue to be in a vulnerable position. Respectfully, let's check it out.
Total hypothetical, actually asking for a friend, but what do you do if you wake up and your credit score just plummets because of your student loans? Yeah, maybe they emailed you, but it seemed like a scam, and you also give out your email to get discounts on most items. So you weren't completely sure, but also you didn't pay those emails that much mind. Apparently, hypothetically, you're 90 days late or more, and then your credit score just takes 100 points, 150 points, 160 points. Hypothetically, you're not trying to crash out and lose your mind completely, feel like an absolute failure. Credit score looking like an early dinner time. Hypothetically, of course, am I the only one that, metaphorically, that hypothetically went through this? Asking for a friend.
Well done, sir. Well done. So I like the creativity, but there's a lot of seriousness in what he says, and I'm gonna get to it. But hypothetically, metaphorically, asking for a friend, if I were someone that found themselves, with your credit score just taking a plummet, the first thing I would do is call my servicer, the student loan place. The young lady above, I was laughing in my head, or the last video that we looked at, she kept saying Mahalia, like Mahalia Jackson. I don't know. It might be Mahalia, it might be Mohila. You might say tomato, I say tomato. Call the people. Pick up the telephone, right? Mr. Telephone Man, and say, hey, there's something wrong with my loan. I don't understand what's going on. Again, let's be adults, because he was tongue in cheek with it, but you're 90 days late, okay? So that's the first thing. But before you call, let me back up. You got to admit it so you can quit it, right? Admit that's what it is. Understand that it's not going away. Call your servicer and find out what it is that you need to do to get back on track. More importantly, to pay the debt off. Last thing I would say is this. Credit Karma is not the app to look at for credit scores. There's a lot of other reputable apps out there, but guess what? You got to pay the man. I find that people that are having problems with these student loans and things of that nature, you want everything for free. It's not free, but if you want free, you could go to myfreeannualcreditreport.com and get a copy of your 3 agency reports, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, to find out what your information is saying about you, what's out there. And go to the CFPB. That's a bureau, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and find out how to dispute things that are on your credit report that are not accurate. Not what you don't want to pay, but that's not accurate. So those are the things that I would do. And I love the way he came at it, because, it could be embarrassing. I'm sure it can. But you admit it, you quit it, you move forward, because hopefully you're not the person that's just a thief. Maybe you fell on hard times. Maybe you really didn't know and understand what the student loans were. And again, I don't want to beat you up, but we're grown now. You're an adult. You have to know before you owe. And this debt ain't going away. And if you have the mindset that YOLO and I don't need it, it's going to come back and bite you, I guarantee. So man up, woman up, and handle your business. And when you start doing that, you'll find that there's a lot of help out here, and you could get past that hurdle. And so you could get on with your life and start building wealth, get into a property, so on and so forth. Let's continue.
Student loans, lowering your credit score should be illegal. I feel like medical bills impacting credit score should be illegal. All that. Honestly, the whole thing is rigged. If the only way you can achieve being locked out of accommodation and having a nice place and getting resources is getting yourself into more debt, it is a scam. This whole thing is a scam. Like, literally, the country's in trillions of dollars of debt, but the individuals who are barely scraping by have to be put under this microscope so they do not succeed or make it out.
Okay, I'm gonna be real ginger with this one, because I'm a what they call a girl dad. I have daughters, right? And so this is what I'll say to you, young lady, coming from somebody that didn't come from a lot, and at a certain time in my life, I felt like the odds were against me as well. That was far from the truth. And that is something that you have to come to terms with sooner rather than later. You can't have the victim mentality. We all have been dealt a card, a hand, a deck of cards or a hand out of that deck. And you gotta make it do what it do, baby. You gotta make the most out of it. And you limit yourself when you have those limiting beliefs. Don't get me wrong, there's some reality and a lot of stuff out here. But if you're in these United States, okay, you were on a device that most of the world doesn't have. You have internet, you have opportunity, all right? And a lot of times, this is one thing that I'll say that we all have succumbed to in Western culture and here in the United States. We can get lazy, fat and lazy, Okay, that's the term. No disrespect to anybody. And here's the deal. You gotta change your perspective and look for the opportunities, because there's a plenty of them out here. And so when I changed my mindset, and I'll constantly talk to myself, because it's easy to become a victim. Again, for all of you guys out there that I ain't that dude, because there's some foul stuff going on out here. I'm not saying that. I'm saying focus on what you can control. Hopefully you hear me. So that's the first thing. Second thing is this. If I were to have loaned or lent you money, $5, $10, $20, $30, $50,000, would you feel the same way if I was handling the debt the way you're handling it? I would put money on it. No, you would want your money back. In fact, I find that a lot of you guys that are wanting all of this grace and mercy for debt, if somebody owes you 3 cents, you ready to take it in blood. So there's a system that's bigger than all of us, and you have to look at it like this. That system allowed you to go to school. Now, here's the deal. If you went and got into something that you didn't know what you were getting into, that's a whole different thing. But again, your word is your bond. We got to get back to these. Our word is our bond. Credibility. Okay? So when you know better, you do better. Don't do those things again. If you have children, prevent them from having the mistakes that you have. But it is what it is. So it's not all gloom and doom. You're still living, you're breathing, and you're in an opportunity zone. For real. Okay. You got to keep your word. You got to pay things back. And then lastly, medical bills. I'm with you. There's a change that happened almost going on 2 years ago now, but it was implemented, I believe, by 18 months ago, where medical collections just don't jump on your credit report immediately, lowering the score. But again, as my mom would say, what's the root of the problem? If you have a job and you have medical insurance, either you're not meeting the deductible or something is going on. We have to get to the root. And the last thing I'll say is this. A lot of our problems is the lack of income or the lack of living beneath our means. And none of those things feel good. And just because the United States has trillions of dollars, you're not the United States, I'm not either. What does your local economy look like? So hopefully you hear what I'm saying. Not talking down at you, not talking down to you, because I come from there, and believe me, I'm the people's champ. But what we can't do is act like, we're getting it out the mud. Nah, you're not keeping your word. You're running into debt, and what you're saying is, hey, I don't want to be held accountable for what I do. We can't do that. I wouldn't be Uncle Rob. I wouldn't be Rob. You guys wouldn't come to the channel if I was disingenuous that way. So this too shall pass, young lady. Hold your head, and you're young. Get up, get out, and get some. Let's go to the next one.
This is all alleged, but I'm going to tell you exactly why Mohilla, Aid Advantage, and Ed Financial are not going to take that 90-day late off of your credit report, no matter how long you wait on hold to talk to someone about it. Pay the student loans, don't pay them. This is about credit reporting and the FCRA and your rights, not only as a student loan borrower, but as someone who has a credit report. And whenever you're looking at your real credit report, so inyourcreditreport.com or the credit report you get from the actual credit bureau, you want to look into the payment history grid, because the grid also needs to be accurate and it cannot be misleading. So a lot of you who have that 90-day late need to look at the month prior to that and see how that account was being reported on your credit report. I had a client who had a 90-day in March, but February said they were on time and January said they were on time. Now, because they know that you do not know the FCRA laws, they can hide behind, we're just reporting what happened, because reality is you probably didn't pay and you were truly 90 days late, but this is not about that. This is about the fact that they could be opened up to a class action because they clearly have compliance issues.
And that's where the problem is. Again, no direct hate towards the young lady. Very articulate business owner. Shout out to you. But are you really teaching folks what they need to know to be successful going down the line as it pertains to the law? You have the letter of the law, you have the spirit of the law. And the law is only as good as the people that are in the society. And so when you make the statement that It's not about if you are late or not. Again, this is my whole premise to the video. You got to get to the point that you don't borrow money you don't intend or have the ability or feel like you can pay back. You borrow money that you know you can pay back, and that's the intent. Now, if something happens, there's rules, bankruptcy, 713, there's ways to get out of that. But see, when we're training people this way, then the system is not going to last for long. And it's just like the drug dealer, okay? I'm selling drugs to my people in my neighborhood, and I'm handing out turkeys and backpacks to make me feel good, or to say, you know, if they don't sell it to them, somebody else would. See, righteous riches, you got to be righteous. So yeah, you might know the FRCA, but you're using it in the wrong way. I'm rhyming, right? I would admonish you to change your mindset and to help those folks that really want to change, okay? Because it's only going to come back and bite them. All of those tricks, take it from someone who helps people get into residential real estate, single family, duplex, triplex, fourplex. And I get a lot of folks that become frustrated and their pockets are lighter because they're paying for all of these tricks and gimmicks that don't work, because once this stuff is validated, it's coming back on your credit. You have to identify the root of the problem, address it, and show that it's fixed going forward. And then you go borrow money. Notice all these folks want a credit score. Well, why do you want a credit score? Because that gives me access to things that I really can't afford. Okay? And so you can't be complicit in your destruction. You can't help it out, because that's called self-destruction, right? So again, young lady, very articulate. I know you're probably doing well. Shout out to you. But you got to teach people better. Okay? We can't use the letter of the law to help those folks not pay for what they owe. That's just not right. And with that said, to all of you haters out there, I'm not going to turn anybody in, okay? But I'm trying to speak to a higher purpose, because here's the deal. If we don't take care of the things that we have now, those coming behind us, all those people that you say you care about, generational wealth, they're not going to have access to these things. So it's better for us to not borrow just frivolously. But as the scripture says, you have to understand the full matter. Okay, understand everything that you can understand to make sure you know what you're getting into, so that things like this are still around. I digress.
Well, I woke up this morning to a bunch of emails and alerts that my credit had changed. I had all these, like, mission credit and whatever with your bank account. So I had like 4 of them. So I was like, what the hell is going on? So I guess they made a decision on all my student loan payments. I had I was in one of those programs where basically, because I make no money, I didn't really have to pay anything. Well, I guess it's all reversed. Overnight, my credit has tanked 80 points. And now they're all delinquent accounts. I am at a loss for words. I know everyone's going to say, oh, well, what'd you think when you took out loans for school? What'd you think was going to happen? Well, I didn't expect life to come in the... I can't afford it. I got roped into some program at some career college. Now I'm $50,000 in debt for this certificate I don't even use, and I don't know what to do. I already can't make it as is. I'm looking for a second job, and now I have to worry that they're going to garnish my wages, take my Social Security. No, because...
So as I stated in the intro, with the young man or the younger folks in the video, wanted to end up with someone that's more mature, just to show you that it's not a game. You really have to take these things seriously, because, she doesn't know what to do. And the only thing to do is to handle this debt, or it's going to continually handle you. As she stated, Social Security and things of that nature. So This student loan thing has run the gamut. I've seen folks as old as 80 that still have student loans that they never intended to pay back. And here's the deal. Don't put yourself through that stress and that drama. Make sure going to school is something that you really want to do, but know and understand that it's the time has come in which you got to start paying back what you borrow. So hopefully we all have learned from these folks that have made themselves vulnerable and put themselves out there for whatever the reason is. But let's eat the meat and spit out the bones. If you're not in debt, no one's making you get in debt. Don't let FOMO cause you to do things that you're going to regret in the future. Know before you owe. There's wisdom in a multitude of counsel. And who cares what people think? Because at the end of the day, I can guarantee you this. They're not going to pay your bills. Only you are. So love yourself, know thyself, take care of you first and then your family. And that's a winning formula for this thing called life. So that's it. I thank you for your time, pardon me, because my time is up. This one's a little longer, but hopefully you feel me, because that's why I do these videos. So you guys be blessed, and until the next time.